We've looked at hip mobility, and then we looked at hamstring mobility, and I promised some lateral movement today. So we're going to look at our adductors, but we've got to, with sideways, with lateral movement, we have to work quite hard to get our pelvis stable first. So we're going to use a booty band. If you can grab a band of some description, that would be amazing. And we're also going to use a yoga block at some point today as a prop. And Trevor is going to be out here with me, getting in the way as much as humanly possible. You've been in the cobwebs, buddy. Okie doke. All right, I might get started. So this is your Thursday morning recovery stretch session. So we're going to work on ironing out the kinks and helping our bodies move better and more comfortably. We're just going to start with our feet about wide as our shoulders, maybe a little bit wider. And just start by looking up, soften the knees and melt down. Let the head turn towards the floor, draw the ribs in as you roll up through the spine. And draw the shoulders back as you arch and lead with the chest on your way down. Rolling up, breathing in. Rolling down, breathing out. Bring your hands all the way to the floor. Bend the knees a lot, and you can let your spine be long and straight. Your torso should actually rest quite comfortably between the legs. And from here, we're going to slowly stretch the legs, look through them. Don't lock them out. We're just giving our hamstrings a bit of a wake up. So you can drop down, lengthen the spine, and then press back, looking through the legs. Lengthening the chest forward and the bottom back. And so you actually want to feel your knees stay in line with your chest as you move in both directions. We'll do 2 more of these. Staying bent in one leg, sort of step one foot out a little wider to the side and follow it until this leg is straight. Good, and then we'll come back to the other side. Want to think about the bottom sticking out a lot. Be careful that your spine isn't curling forward. We want to keep that nice and long and flat. See if you can take your hands now onto your hips. And make sure your knees are turning out to your 3rd toes as you shift from side to side. Good, come to the center. See if you can straighten the legs with a flat back. Reach the arms forward. Squeeze your bottom to slowly stand up. I'm going to circle the arms back and up to the ceiling. Nice big circles. Two more. At the top, reverse, take it forward. And we're going to hold a nice wide squat. So turn the knees out to the 3rd toes, take the arms out to the sides. I want you to really focus on the knees pressing out. You're going to load the big toes, the heel, and the outer edge of the foot. Feel your arches lifting up away from the floor, and that should help you use your butt a little bit more. Try and keep your spine long, your ribs in. Careful you don't over tuck the pelvis. We want to be lifting through the low back and the low belly. And now we can sit in a little bit deeper, arms wide to the side, teeny tiny circles through the shoulders, back for 10. Good. Nice and still in the body, and reverse. Chin tucked in, back of the neck nice and long. 3, 2, 1. Standing up. Let's use the band. All right, so we're standing up with the band today. And be really careful because the band will try and pull your knees in. You've got to remember that our focus is in spiraling the thighs out into the band above the knees, or your tied up tights, or whatever it is that you've got. We're going to start at one end of our mat, or at one end of the space that we're in, with the knees already soft and the tailbone lengthened back. We've already got a little tiny bit of tension into the band. We're going to take the weight into the foot that's furthest away from the camera, or the outside leg, and then the inside leg is going to step out. And we're going to do that 5 times. 4. Try and keep your body landing in the center of that. 2. And once we get here on one, hold that pressure with the knees spiraling out, the tailbone lengthening back. And you'll feel that your hips and your thighs are having a very strong conversation through your glutes. Where your thighs sit into your hip sockets, your glutes are working very, very hard to make this conversation very interesting. And we're holding here for another 5, 4, and on one we're going to lift the outside leg and start stepping that way. 3, 2, 1. So load into the inside leg, stepping out. 5, 4, 3, 2, hold. Can we come down a little bit deeper this time, pressing those knees out into the band for 10. Careful that you don't tuck or arch. We want to keep the belly strong, the low belly and the low back sweeping in and up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is enough of that. You can let those go and step out of it. Does everyone feel like their hips and their thighs are like, the thighs know where to sit into the hip sockets now? We're going to start doing some lateral lunging to get our adductors fired up. So we start with our feet together at one end of the mat, and we're going to step wide to the side. I want you to be really mindful that our whole body weight transfers over, but as we sink the tailbone back, the chest stays in line with the knee. Yeah, we're not going to try and drop the whole body forward. We're just taking it over. Chin and torso are actually pretty much on the same line. Bring it back towards the center. Trev, you are going to get stepped on, buddy. Can I just move you up here? Here you go. You can sit on my bed. 10 times that way. 10. You might have already done 3. I like to, if I had 2 hands, I'd clench my fingers in front of me. It's a 45-degree turnout. Well, it's not quite that. It's about a 10-degree turnout, actually. 7, 8. And on 10, we're going to hold here. 10. Good. So belly is in, shoulders are back, spine is long. We're kind of 2/3 of the way over towards this leg. You can now bring both hands over onto the inside leg, as long as you keep your shoulders back. And I want you to look at the toes on the outside leg. I'm going to flex the foot, rotate the toes up to the ceiling, and then tap the big toe down on the floor. Rotate the toes up to the ceiling, tap the big toe down. I'm going to do this 3 more times. Try not to let anything else move. 2, 1. Keeping the toes face up to the ceiling. Bring your hands to the ground or onto your blocks if you need to. And we're going to think about the inside hip pressing down towards the inside heel, which is still on the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then turn it into a lunge, into a long lunge. We're just going to go forwards and backwards, making sure that that knee isn't going further than your toes. 4, 5. And as we extend this front leg today, we're going to bend the back knee and turn it out to the side. So we're going to go like this. So the back knee is turning out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it here. We're going to lift the front toes up 5 times. 1, 2, 3. Hands on blocks if you need. 4, 5. And then turn to the center and step it in closest to your inside foot. Great. All right, how are we feeling? Alive? Surviving so far? Great. We're going to do our 10 lunges to the other side, side lunges to the other side. So, tailbone tucked, ribs are in, pelvic floor is lifted up. We're going to step out. 1 and back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looking good, guys. 9. Really nice. Hold. 10. Okie dokie. Now that we're here, staying down nice and low, shoulders down and back. I'm going to lift the toes towards the ceiling. 1. Try and keep this knee out. I'm really bad on this side. 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring the hands to the floor. And I'm going to try and take the hip down to the outside heel. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can turn directly towards that foot I'm going to switch so I'm not showing you my butt. So you're now in your long lunge. And forward and back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make sure you pause on the back. We're going to extend the front leg, turn the knee to the side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it here, lift the toes to your nose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, turn it back to the other end of the mat. Step the feet together. Find a long spine. Breathe in. And let the forehead drop towards the ground as you breathe out. Do that 2 more times. I'm just going to connect to my headset so you don't have to listen to someone vacuuming their car. Now that we're here, inhale your arms up above your head with your feet nice and wide. Think about the arches of your feet lifting, the inner thighs lifting up into your groin. And then we're going to slowly try and fold with a flat back. So the tailbone shifts back as the chest shifts forward and the arms stay by the ears. When you find your maximum stretch here, take a breath in and slowly bring your hands to the ground as you breathe out. Lengthen the spine and bend the elbows to drop down. We're going to do that again. Lengthen the spine, bend the elbows, come in deeper. One more time. I'm just resting here. Really release the back of the neck. Let the head hang heavy. If you want to get a little bit more out of that, you can nod your head yes and shake it no. Releasing any tension. Okie dokie. For this one now, we're going to take the hands over to the outside foot. For me, that's the left. And just bend the right knee out wide to the side. So come into that. Try and really twist to the left as much as you can. 2, 3, 4. One more. 5. And then hold the bent knee. Just to really enjoy the length through the inside. So for me, the right side of the body as you twist to the left. Extend that right leg, come back to the center, shift across to the other side. And then as you really twist towards the right leg, we're going to bend the left knee 5 times. 5, 4. Tom just came to the door to try and invite Trevor back in. He was not interested. 2. Staying down here, really stretching over to the right. And extending the leg, coming back to the middle. This time, we're going to take the hands to the hips, squeeze the bottom, find a flat back, breathe in, lift the pelvic floor, and then squeeze your bottom to stand as you breathe out. Cool. So trying to think about that forward bend pattern. Next up, we're going to do a pretty tricky exercise that's going to incorporate that rotation that we've just added. One hand will be at the back of your head as you reach across down in front of the opposite toe. And we're going to switch sides. So then this hand will come back behind your head and this one will reach down to the opposite toe. So we're going to do 20 of these. Let's start with the fingertips at the base of the skull, the toes just gently turning out. Take a breath in, exhale over. Inhale up, exhale over. Try and keep your back really straight as you extend and tap. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You look good, guys. 9, 10. And again, coming to the center and just relaxing forward. Now we can try and really start moving a bit deeper into the stretch. The first way I like to do that is by turning the fingers away from the toes, walking them through the legs, and seeing if just by clawing through the fingertips and dragging the floor towards you, you can tip your tailbone up and pull your forehead down towards the ground. Holding that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walking the hands out in front of us, lifting the chest, breathe in, hands on the hips, tailbone under, breathe out, flat back up to stand, inhale. We're going to lift the front toes, turn them to the side, and come into Warrior 2. This is a yoga pose with the knee above the ankle. The other foot can be turning up about 45 degrees. We're open to the side through our body and our pelvis, and the arms are out long and straight.
Even though our body's open to the side, we're looking towards the middle finger on the front hand, and the ribs are right on top of the hips. So many people lunge forward in their warrior two. Try and keep it really stacked with the ribs over the hips. Nice. Now I want you to really push down through that back outer edge of the heel and feel the inside arch lifting up. And notice your front knee. Can you turn it a little bit more towards the third toe? Can we come in a little bit lower? Breathe in and sink down. Good. Everything below the waist is going to stay exactly as it is. Turn the palm over, reach overhead, open up your side body, slide the other arm down your back leg. And then this arm, we're going to take the elbow and press it into the top of the thigh. The other arm's going to circle towards the floor and then come up over your ear with the palm facing down towards the ground. So close your fingers, turn the palm down towards the ground, and then keep lengthening. Notice the outer edge of your back foot and feel that extend through one straight line all the way to your fingertips. From here, roll your shoulder back. So this one is reaching up by your ear and the other shoulder is pulling back. Now let's see if we can keep the top arm where it is and take this hand down to the inside of the foot. Now a lot of times when we do that, we get duck bum, which means our tail feathers stick out. Can I get you to try and scoop that duck bum back underneath you so it's in line with your knee and your back foot? So the duck bum will have stretched back. See if you can spiral it forward and take your top arm and hold it back. And we're going to hang out here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Circle the top arm down towards the mat. Reach it all the way back until you're in your warrior two. Good. We're going to extend the front leg. Now this arm is going to reach forward, and we want to careful that you're not locking out into that knee. Cool. So there's a tiny micro bend here. We want to create a straight line from the hip all the way to the fingertips. Your other arm comes straight up into the air, and then this hand, without folding at this side of your waist, bring this hand down to the inside of the calf. Now I want you to imagine someone just poked you between your shoulder blades on your back. Boom! Chest presses out. And then I want you to feel like your pubic bone curls in towards your belly button. Good. Keep this hand down. You're pushing the bottom arm into the legs. You're trying to open the chest and close the belly. Arches of the feet pulling up. You're here for 5, 4. We're going to finish on an exhale and then inhale to stand. All right. We're going to take the hands to the hips, turn the toes in, lift the other toes, turn them all the way around as we come into warrior two on the other side. So I won't see so much of you on this side because I too am looking over the middle fingers of my imaginary hand. Tailbone is under, knee is out to the third toe, edge of the foot is grounded and the arch is lifted. Try and keep really broad and bright through the collarbones. And then keeping everything set. Oh, let's take a breath in and take it deeper first. And then keeping everything below the hips, well, below the waist really set. The other arm will reach up to the ceiling, open the sides of the ribs. Keep your chin tucking in. Sliding that arm down, staying bent in the knee. And then the arm that's in the air is going to rest on your thigh, and the other one is going to spiral around over your ear. So you want your tailbone tucking under, your ribs pulling in, and this arm creating a straight line from the edge of the back foot all the way through to the fingertips. Roll the bottom shoulder back. You're not on a couch. And then this one we want to extend a little bit further. Let's see if we can take that hand down to the ground now on the inside of the arch of the foot. And when the duck bum pops out, we're going to tuck it back under. 3, 2, 1. The top arm spirals towards the floor and circles all the way back to bring us up into our warrior two. Great. This leg is going to extend. I'm going to fold over the hip. The other arm comes up to the ceiling, and keeping the side of the waist straight, take the bottom arm down so that the backs of your fingers press into your leg. So we want the chest to pop open, the shoulders to squeeze back, and then the tailbone to scoop under so the pubic bone rises. Just hold your shape, get really strong through the feet and the legs, really long through the bottom side of the waist. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to take it all the way back up. Bring the hands onto the hips again. All right, we're going to come and sit into our goddess now. So we're going to turn the toes out. Make sure that your toes are level. Sometimes they shift away from each other when we do those standing poses. And really think about the band, even though it's not around the thighs. Imagine that same feeling of the band around the thighs as you spread the knees apart and sink down into the hips. Really nice, guys. Really good. Can you check in with your feet? Are you loading the balls of the feet and the heels evenly? Nice. Now, if you'd like an extra challenge here, you can extend your hands up by the ceiling, by your ears. See if you can feel into a straight line from the hips through your armpits all the way to the fingertips. We're going to pulse the bottom down towards the ground 5 times. Take a breath in. Pulse. 3 more. Keep the knees out really wide. Try and keep nice and neutral through the spine. And hold it down here for 10 seconds. It's just 10 seconds out of your whole day. You can do this. 3, 2, 1. Bring the hands to the ground. Now we're going to lift the heels up, turn them out, and take the forehead to the floor. So the first time that we stretched our hamstrings and our adductors here, we turn the hands around. This time, we're going to take the hands to the front of the shin and then see if they can come to the back of the calf with the index finger sliding down as low as we can towards the heel. The crown of the head is straight down to the floor. Take a breath in, lengthen the spine, and as you breathe out, pull on your legs to draw your head further through. Be careful that you don't crunch through the shoulders and round the back as we do that. We're trying to stay nice and long. The tailbone is lengthening up and the crown of the head is lengthening down. Take a breath in, go again. Try and hold it here. Nice. And now we're going to get a stretch for our chest and our back. Looking forward, keep your hips exactly where they are. Imagine that someone's gently pulling on your tail to lengthen you backwards. I want you to look forward and walk your arms forward as far as you can. If you want to put your hands on blocks, it makes this a little bit more intense. Feel the fingertips and the tail pull away from each other. So I want you to really lengthen as you inhale and press the heart down towards the floor through the armpits as you exhale. Just notice that, rest into that. So we're looking for the back bend, the chest opening, even though we're in a forward fold over the hip creases. This will really improve your spinal mobility and your forward bend pattern. Let's do it again. Look at your thumbs, lift the chest, take a breath in, and then press down through the heart, through the armpits as you breathe out. And just hang out here. Good. Bringing the hands back underneath the shoulders. Just flop for a second. Let your spine relax. Let your ribs relax. And then soften the knees. Turn the heels in and roll up slowly through the spine. Roll the shoulders back 3 times. How are we feeling? Lots of work for the glutes and the hamstrings so far. We're going to come to the back edge of the mat. Take a big breath in. Stretch the arms all the way up. Fold forward all the way down. I'm going to walk the hands out into plank position. And we're going to hold it for 10, 9. I want you to squeeze that bottom and try and find neutral through the sternum. So that means we're not over protracted and we're not saggy. We're nice and flat through the upper back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Press it back into your downward dog. Really push through the hands, tailbone upwards to the ceiling. You can walk it out here if you feel you need to, but we have done a lot to wake up our hamstrings already. They shouldn't be too unhappy about their current situation. You're going to take the right leg, stretch it up into the air, and then we're going to circle it wide to the side and down towards the ground. Squeeze your bottom, lengthen it up. Take it wide to the side and down towards the ground. One more time. Now, when it comes up to the ceiling, we're going to reverse it. So we take it down to the ground and then inhale it all the way up. Exhale it down. Inhale around and up. One more. And then step the right foot to the outside of your right little finger. You might need to sneak your left foot back just like I did, and that's totally okay. I just want you to check that your shoulders and your hips are in 2 straight lines with long sides of your waist. Thanks, Trev. That's exactly where I need you. Come up onto your fingertips, open the chest, breathe in, and pulse your left hip down to the floor as you breathe out. Do that again. Good. Come up through the back butt cheek. Bring both hands flat on the floor now. And we're going to shift the knee on top of the toes and behind the heel. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now take the weight back. Turn the toe in, make sure it's touching your little finger, and then bring that back knee down to the ground. Keep your toes curling under. You've got to kick your own butt cheek now 5 times. Kick, lower. Try and keep everything else still. 3, 4, looking good, and hold. So I want you to see today if you can keep your left hand where it is on the ground. Bring your right elbow up by your ear, extend it behind you, and look for your left foot. Maybe you can't find it, in which case go grab your strap, put it around your ankle, and do this one again, and then grab your strap. If you can find it, take a hold of the outside of the ankles. That's the little toe side of the ankle. You're going to take a breath in. Push the foot into the hand as you breathe out. Inhale, lift your pelvic floor, keep pushing. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, relax. Now, if you can, slide the hand on top of the toe and bend your elbow to bring your heel towards your butt. Nice. Keeping the shoulder down away from the ear, the collarbone's really broad. And just hold here for 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to release the foot. Don't be in a hurry to put it down on the ground, because instead of putting it straight back, we're going to put it on 45 degrees. So we're on an angle now, and this foot is turning out. We're going to keep our hands on our hips. We're also facing 45 degrees ahead, so we're on the same angle as this back shin. So the left shin is on an angle, our chest is on an angle. Our foot is straight ahead. We're going to send the knee out to the little toe. So take a breath in, long spine. Knee to little toe. 1, and up. 2, and up. You don't need to extend this very much. 2 more. And stay in the bent leg now. Bring the inside hand down. Spin that back leg back into neutral, so in line with the knee and the hip, and then bring the left hand down as well. We're going to turn the toe out a little wider. Keep your left hand on the ground. Bring your right elbow to the knee and turn it out. Let's give it a little bit of weight. You should feel this in the right hip, starting to open a little bit more. Keep that knee where it is. Bring the hand back onto the floor. Tuck the toes and lift the knee up. Now, we're going to open the chest as we breathe in. See if your left elbow can come down as you breathe out. If it doesn't, do what I do. Grab a block. So we can get that left elbow towards the floor. Your right arm is going to do some really hard work. So we're all on this 45-degree out to the side through the right. We need to match that now through the left. So your left shoulder and your left elbow are going to turn 45 degrees to the left. Your right hand is going to stand up into the air as you breathe in. Reach it as far to the left as you breathe out. Back up to the ceiling. Inhale, chest open. Take your hips back as your hand comes down. Exhale. 2 more. 1 more time. Stay there. Keep your hand and your hip pulling in opposite directions for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale the arm up. Exhale it down inside the foot. Come back onto your hands. And step the foot back into downward dog. Just check in how those legs feel really different right now. Hang on 1 sec. I'm just losing an earbud. Let's do all that on the other side too, team. We're going to inhale the left leg up. And just get comfortable with that leg being in the air. Take a breath in. Circle it wide to the side, all the way down, and then up on the inhale. 2 more slow, controlled circles. Let's reverse that now. Down to the ground, all the way up. One more time. Lift it up again. Look to your little finger and step it all the way to the top of the mat. So we're on a little turnout through that front foot. Hello again. Up onto the fingertips, open the chest, breathe in, and press the left knee out, the right hip down as you breathe out. Again, lift up and press forward through the chest down to the knee. One more. Come back up, hands flat. We're going to shift forward and back 5 times. Try and make sure that knee gets all the way back behind the heel. Cool. And once you're back, bring the knee to the ground. We're going to tap the heel to the butt 5 times. Hold it up there. We're going to take the same. So the left arm will reach up to the ceiling. You're going to spiral around. See if you can reach your right heel. If you can't, grab your strap, whack it around the ankle. You might need to take your right hand closer to your left leg to make that accessible. Totally okay. All right, take a breath in. As you breathe out, push the heel into the hand without dropping your hips. Keep everything in line. Breathe in, hold your pelvic floor. Keep pushing. And then exhale, relax. Should all feel a little bit more comfortable. See if you can turn the hand around, bring it onto the tops of the toes, and pull that heel in closer to your butt. Keeping the collarbones open, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Remember to keep the neck long and the chin gently drawing in. And slowly bring that back onto a 45-degree angle. Coming up with the hands on the hips, keeping that turn out through the left toes. And bending in 5. So chest is 45, leg is 45. 4, 3, 2, and hold. Bring the left hand down. Spin the right knee back into neutral, then bring the right hand down. We're going to tuck the toes, push back, take a breath in. Can we come down onto the right, pushing the left elbow out into the left knee is the first thing we do. Not having a left elbow, that's always the one that I forget. Hanging out there. All right, now you can put that hand back down and see if the outside, so the right elbow will come down onto the ground. Will the left elbow come down onto the ground? And if you want to, for this part, you can relax the knee back down on the floor. We will need to pick it back up in a sec. So really sinking out through the knee and the hip, keeping the big toe mount on the ground. This is out on 45 through the left side. We need to take the right forearm and turn it out 45 on the right. We're now going to tuck the toes, scoop the knee and the hip up. Inhale your left arm high, high, high to the sky. And exhale, tap it to the right, pulling back through the hip. Inhale it up, open the chest. Exhale, tap. You guys are doing a great job. Inhale up. Exhale, tap. One more time. And hold. Feel that stretch from the left hip through to the fingertips. Good news is we're not having to come back into downward dog. Just bring that hand up as you breathe in. The knee and the hand can come down as you breathe out. Coming up onto the hands. And scooch that back leg through so you can sit on your bottom. We're going to start our seated stretching. So really getting a bit deeper into our adductors from here on out. This is my right leg closer to you. I'm bringing my left foot into my thigh and I'm making sure I'm still kind of on this 45-degree angle. So my torso is between both of my legs. That'll change in a second. Bring your hands to your hips, open the chest, and then fold from the hips, keeping the tailbone down. It doesn't matter how deep you go. I'd like you just to keep a straight back. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Just 2 more here. Inhale up. Now we're going to rotate towards the right leg. And I'd like you to be as turned towards it so that the leg is right in the center of your chest. Bring your hands down wherever they land. Open up and then fold in. Bring your elbows to the ground if they'll reach. Keeping the spine long and straight. Now, if this is feeling comfortable, you can flex that foot and you can take your hands around the base of the foot. Take a breath in, and as you pull back on the foot, fold a little deeper. So we always inhale to lengthen the spine and exhale to move deeper into the stretch. Make sure your body relaxes fully on the next breath, so they're not holding on to more tension. And if that's enough for you to work with, you're going to continue with that 3 more times. If you need a little bit more, you have the block handy, so feel free to add that over the end of the foot. As you inhale and arch, and exhale and fold. I'm just taking 2 more breaths here. And releasing the grip of the arms, letting the spine melt, letting your body completely relax, and using your next inhale to slowly roll up. Okie doke. Now for this next stretch, we're going to do a little bit of walk like an Egyptian. So this hand, we're going to have the thumb facing forward and the elbow in line with the shoulder. Your left arm will be the same with the pinky finger facing forward and the fingers pointing up. So right arm is like this, left arm is out there. Those arms are going to scoop in opposite directions. So your left palm will face down and your right palm will turn up as we scissor to the side, and we're going to do that 4 times. So starting position here with our weird little robot shape. Take a breath in and tip to the side, left arm over right as you breathe out. And each time, I'd like you to see if you can turn your chest a little bit more to the ceiling. We've got 2 more to go. And hold on the 4th one. I want you to feel your arms scissor in opposite directions. If you want to, you can now place the hand down on the knee. Give it a little bit of weight. Try and tuck your chin to your shoulder. Face to the ceiling. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly come up, leading with the arm, and then place it down on the ground. We're going to take a twist. So bring this foot over your opposite knee. This is the fun part of today's sequence. After we do the twist, we get to do our disco pretzel. Bottom on the floor, arms up by the ears to start. Rotate to your right as you exhale. You're going to bring the right hand down onto the ground. Push the left leg away. Really open the chest. And then rotate to the right. Careful not to let that right shoulder roll in, huh? The arms come back to the center as we breathe in. So your right hand goes next to your right foot. Your left hand goes out wide to the side, so your hands are in a straight line. We're going to keep our toes on the floor as we pick up our butt and swivel around, walking with our hands until we're sitting on the ground. Hey! Now, it's not fair to start with the twist when we haven't done all the rest of the mobility. So bring the left leg out to the side. We're 45 degrees to the middle, chest up, and fold. 4 of these. Little drinking bird exercise. Last 2. Long spine, chin stays in. And 1. Coming up, rotate that left leg, bring your hands onto the ground, shoulders back, chest up, breathe in, and bend the elbows to fold. You can walk them forward if that feels good. Now remember, we're here for quite a while, so you don't have to rush into this. Think about keeping your spine long, releasing with your exhale, and once you get to your next point, always make sure your body relaxes. Trevor, no barking. Quiet. Stop. That's a snaggletooth. And again, if you can reach your foot, draw the shoulders back, lift the heart, breathe in, and then fold in as you breathe out. And if you're able to completely relax here and it becomes too easy, you can just take the block behind your foot and continue with that. Releasing the block now, releasing the foot, allowing your spine to completely melt forward, and using the breath in to slowly roll up. All right, are we ready to walk like an Egyptian? I'm probably really showing my age now, huh? Okay, let's get those arms ready. Take a breath in and move as you breathe out. If you don't know the song by the Bangles, Walk Like an Egyptian, go YouTube that. Inhale it up. Exhale it over. 2 more. I mean, after class. Don't YouTube it right now. And hold this one. Seeing if we can turn that chest towards the ceiling. Your bottom hand can push down into the knee now. Trev's come back to steal the show. Coming all the way up. And then bringing the other leg across. Hi, Pumpkin. Hello. Someone wants a belly scratch. Arms up in the air. Take a breath in. And rotate away as you breathe out. So left arm comes down. Want to really puff the chest up. And rotate a little further. And then bring the arms up to the center. We don't have to do another disco pretzel. Bring them down by the sides. I'm just going to turn a little bit more towards you for this section. We're going to start with our feet in the butterfly. So there's the butterfly and the cobbler. I always get confused about which one is which, but those are the 2 exercises we're doing. Try and get your heels and your hips quite close to each other. With your spine up nice and straight, I want you to just take a breath in and use your elbows like they're anchors, dropping into the ocean on your legs as you breathe out, really giving weight. Be gentle, be conscious of where your thigh sits into your hips. And then release and you inhale just a bit and press out again as you exhale. We'll do that one more time. Now holding our position, we're going to slightly tip to one side. Keep this knee open, but take the right knee for me, or whichever side you've tipped to. Bring that leg towards the floor. I just want you to make eye contact with the knee that's in the air and just be like, what are you doing up there? You need to get down. Tell it to get a bit lower. All right, now we've made that happen. We're going to slowly move back to the center, but be conscious of maintaining that newfound space. Okay. Now, keeping the pressure of the elbows out, we're going to slowly tip to the other side, keeping this right knee open. Just look at it going, why are you so far from the floor? What are you doing? And then press it away. And then keeping that distance between the legs, come back to the middle and notice how much closer both knees are to the ground now and be like, yeah, that's more like it. If you have externally rotated hips, your knees are probably already on the floor. A way that you can move deeper into this stretch is by taking a block and placing it underneath the outer edges of your feet. So you don't want to make the knees, but you can put it on under your feet. You can also put the block under your hips so that your knees have to work harder to get to the ground. You can try both of those options if you find this super easy. I have internally rotated hips. This is not easy for me. And then releasing, coming up. We're not going to give any shakes or shimmies. We're going to go into cobbler. So you want at least from your elbow to your fingertip between your groin and your heels. Also want elbow to fingertip here. And then your hands are going to come around so the thumbs rest in the arches and the fingertips are near your toes. You want a little outwards push through the elbows so that the chest can pop forward. Breathe into that. And then curl the chin in, round the spine. Aim the head for the soles and the arches of your feet. Keep breathing into the spaces in the backs of the ribs. And release the arms first. Let the head hang heavy. And very slowly roll up to sit. Okay, now we get to take the hands behind us. Make sure your fingers face either towards your butt or out to the sides. And then bring your feet flat and just roll your knees from side to side. So there's a very specific reason I'm yet to give you a glute stretch. And that's because we want to use our butt muscles to take us into our pancake. And that is our final adductor stretch for today. Bodies should be feeling nice and warm. I'm going to find our pancake, and then we'll stretch out our butts. Okay, so once we're out in our straddle, you don't have to go to your widest straddle. Probably about a 6 out of 10 is fine. You can manhandle your own booty and get it out of the way. We're going to start with the pelvis. So drawing the pubic bone up, notice that that puts you further back on your sits bones. And then when you lift your tailbone up, that puts you further forward on your sits bones. Be conscious that your knees stay pointing to the ceiling as you pull your pubic bone forward and then your tailbone back. This is round 3. We got 5 rounds. Now stay forwards on the sits bones. See how far forward you can bring yourself with a straight back. And then we're going to take 4 circles in one direction. Take a breath in and circle it towards the floor, keeping a nice long spine and open chest. 3, 4. Let's take that the other way now. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good stuff. Now to loosen this all up, I like to go for a little bit of a swim, but it's not the same swim as you think. We're not going to put the hands on the floor. You're going to take your right arm towards your left toe, circle it around, and your left arm is in line with your left toe as your right arm's coming around. Once you've done a full sweep, you come through the center and scissor again. We're going 4 times this way. Swimming through, like we're trying to create a whirly in the swimming pool. And then go the other way. Left finger across, all the way up. 2, whoosh, creating a huge splash. 3, 4. Great. So bringing the arms up by your ears, I want you to commit to them staying there. We're not going to allow the shoulders to round in. They get to do that for the rest of the day. So be very conscious that they're going to sit connected to your back for this next exercise. Get as tall as you can as you breathe in. We're going to fold forward for 4 from the hips. 4, keep the feet flexed. 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, then up for 1, 2, 3. Go again. Forward. 4. Squeeze your thighs. 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Up. 4, 3, 2. One more time. Down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then up. 2, 3. Done. Shake it off. Still got flex foot, flex feet. Knees are still pointing to the ceiling. Bring the hands out in front of you. Lift the chest, breathe in. Bend your elbows as you breathe out. If you can come down onto your elbows already, great. Just find where you're comfortable. If you want to prop yourselves up on your block here, we're going to do a little bit of an imagery exercise. So we're going to draw a picture in our head and focus on every vertebrae of our spine. We've all seen the dangly skeleton with its long spine. So we're going to imagine that the tailbone is pulling back and one vertebrae at a time is lengthening forward from the tailbone. So we're coming up through the sacrum and that's pulling forward. You can move your arms as we go through this. So I want you to really visualize one vertebrae at a time lengthening forward. Keep those feet strong, keep those thighs on. So vertebrae by vertebrae, we're creating more length between them. Keeping the chest lifted, using your shoulders to keep your heart open. And when we get to the mid-back, just pause and we're going to shift to one side. Inhale back to the center. Shift to the other side. Inhale back to the center. All right, so we're long and straight from the tailbone all the way through to the mid-back. Let's continue that adventure. Imagine that we're lengthening up the waist into the ribs and that the space between the ribs actually can grow longer, vertebrae by vertebrae. And then that space gets longer through the shoulders. Keep breathing up through the shoulder blades, up into the neck, all the way up to your head. And if you just keep lengthening and keep walking your arms out and keep visualizing this, how low do you go? Taking your time, using your imagination. I never ever get as deep in my straddle as I do when I do this exercise. This is like my magic. I can't get chest to floor any other way. Rather than one vertebrae at a time, imagining that my spine is pulling out long and straight. We're just going to hold here for 10 seconds. Keep breathing. Keep energizing your heels, squeezing your thighs. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hands under your chest. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and very slowly push yourself up with a straight back. Whew. How's your groin, guys? Give your legs a shake. We're not going to bring them together just yet. We're going to come into our glute stretches. So we're going to start to bend our right knee, turn the left leg in, and come over into our half pigeon. Make sure your right toes are nice and active. Chest is up. Left leg is reaching back. Just take a little rock into your hips here, nice and gentle. They've been folded in that pancake stretch for quite a while. And now that we're here, maybe come onto the elbows. Notice how long and straight your spine is. Keep extending your left leg back. I want you to just check that your left heel is in line with the middle of your butt cheek and that your foot isn't sickling. And if this is nice and comfy, you can come all the way down. And just melt, really relax. Slowly coming up, turning towards the other leg. Turning towards your left leg. Bending the knee, coming forward into your half pigeon and just melting. I've lost you guys. Here you are. Holding that half pigeon on the other side. Onto the elbows to start. Checking in with that back leg. And making your way all the way down. Slowly coming up. I'm going to bring the back knee forward, stack them, tuck the toes, send the heels towards the floor. Just hang out here in this C shape. This should feel pretty good. And then take the heels to the ground. Leave the spine curled. Nod the head yes. Shake the head no. And one vertebrae at a time. Slowly roll up through the spine. And at the top, drawing the chin in, roll the shoulders back 1, 2, and 3 times. I hope you enjoyed today's session, guys. I wish I had an hour and a half. We didn't get to do froggies or anything, but we did get to do some adductor magic. So